Good morning, people's first video in January. It's the morning of January 2. Okay, so we got YieldMax Group B. MARO was added, the crypto miner, and let's see what else. So January 2nd is the declaration day. Friday, tomorrow, the 3rd, is ex-dividend, and the pay date is 1/6 up here. Let me get this screen. It's a little easier to see. Okay. So I changed up a little bit over here. So we've been having a 6-month running total. So the only ones that I added, I left the other funds besides like PLDT, PLDT, PLTY, PLTY. So I gave them another month because they only had 4 months previously. Now they have 5 months in calculating their data. YMAG and YMAX have only been weekly, but I've always given them all of the monthlies back before to get those numbers right. Now, obviously, MARO only has a single month. Otherwise, everything is cool. So what I did here, I didn't do it in black because I didn't want to confuse this whole 6-month gain loss, 6-month yield, thus add those two together and you get 6 months total return. So what I've been doing is highlighting in the red negative and obviously positive in green. This is your payment. So if you want to look or check these out, NVDY, what did it pay? Almost 90 cents, right? I'll keep the cursor out of your way. 89830. Okay, that'll be paid on January the 6th. So FEPI, Facebook Meta 44. What I did over here in this column, instead of just making it black and having two blacks in a row, and these are sort of separate data, I just made it a dark gray on both of these. So obviously, whenever they pay a yield, they're always positive, right? So everything's green. Over here, if the price went down from the previous month, I color coded it red. If the price went up, it's green. If the price, and this happens occasionally, is exactly the same, I'll make it white. So it doesn't surprise me that PLD, Palantir, PLTR is the stock, the income fund is PLTY. As I said, it's going to be the best performing stock in the market over a number of years. I've been saying that if you go back on my videos for over 6 months. Now, I don't own it in the income fund, as I've always said, because I think you can do better outside the income fund. But it is ironic that it now has 5 payments, um, or actually November, December, only 3, I think. Let's look at Palantir. I got C13, yeah, but there's no data. It only has 3 payments. Um, so that's pretty awesome that you have a 17.77 yield over a 6-month period when it's only paid 3 payments. Now, other guys, you had a 5% payer in MARO, but look at what MARO did. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me go through these. So now you see why I color coded what I color coded. So what did you get paid on JPMO? If you want to read on your own, do that. You don't have. So 30 cents every. Now, I could color code these up and down, but when people watch this and they quickly want to see what something got paid, you're always looking at yellow, right? So I'm going to leave that the same. I can tell you that's actually down. So 89 cents on NVIDIA is down from $1.18. Okay. 44 cents was up. I take it back. it was down quite a bit, 44 cents. You've had a 53, a 92, an 83. Oh, I take it back, and a 37. So it was up over last month, but I'd say over the average it's down. JPMO actually went down from December, and I thought December here was lower than the three previous months. All right. MRNY, poor MRNY. It isn't a pitiful distribution with MRNY. It is just the gain and loss. It just is ugly. That's a reverse split happening anytime now. Okay, guys. So what I do is I track the previous month and then I write this one down, right? So you can just look over there. If it's red, it means it went down, but did it go down substantially? Yeah. Most of these did. But you're getting 25 cents, okay? So that's a 57% yield, but who wants to own a loser stock? All right, GDXY 1441, quite a bit down from the 1582 in December. And nothing to write home about with the yield, 29%. Oops. And even GDXY is turned negative on this number. Okay. So as we go, as I said, PLTY, Palantir, right? PLTY for the symbol for the YieldMax. All right, YMAG and YMAX. I know a lot of you followed these. YMAX, 18 cents. They're easy to predict ahead of time. I know there's a couple of YouTubers that do them. I stopped doing them. It just this is such an easy thing, but I get it. People want more views and want to earn more money, and I get it for doing them. Um, but all you have to do is look at the previous, like in YMAG's case, the previous payers, right? Because that's going to tell you those seven guys. Um, and then on YMAX, it's everybody. Okay, so 37. The one that I wanted you to see and take a look at is MARO. Now, on one hand, it looks great, right? Looking through these distribution yields, very high yield. Palantir's problem is it came out as a $55 stock, but you're now, with it being $70.70, you're measuring, I think you are measuring against J13. Yeah, you're measuring against the current price, right? Technically, this is 12/31 price because the markets weren't open on 1/1, but it's always the day before. So anybody, you don't have to comment if you see that. You'll see that the price is actually the closing price on the last day the market was open prior to the declaration. For practical purposes of calling this January, which it is a January 6th payment, so I just put a 1/1 price there. All right, what else? So 31 cents for YMAG and 18, so a much nicer amount here. It's not too great. Now, what I don't like about MARO, look at this. It launched December 9th. The first close price we had is December 10. So they come out with a press release and say tomorrow it's going to start. Well, it started on the 10th. Well, the 10th is only, a little over 20 days, like 21 days of trading or so forth. It's not even that many days because you have weekends in there. But calendar, it's been out about 21 days. Okay. You have a 14.31 drop in the price. I wrote over here 7.2, but it's not relative for a few of these. You see these red, I have comments in there about the fact that they actually weren't trading the full period of time. So when I did a price, I just did, look, this one's a 7.24 price. This one's an August 8th price. And this one is an October the 8th price for Palantir, PLTY. This one, I'll put the comment in there, but it's a December 10. But look at that. I mean, you've got, so your yield, when you look at it collectively, it's only 1 month. When you roll it up, like, it's only 5.29. That always happens when you only have one payment. Everybody else is at 5 or 6. All right. But the problem is the almost 20%. If you lose 20% in less than a month, that's not very good. Now, granted, anything can happen short term. We'll see what with crypto. I've got mixed feelings. Everybody's excited. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe there's one more high over 108. Maybe it gets to 115. It could go to 125, go 130. But I see it coming back down pretty aggressive. Um, it's just a lot of it depends on the market. And this commercial real estate is just terrible. The stats look like the crash in 2008. For those of you that remember the whole Lehman Brothers, that whole period of time was awful, scary, as a matter of fact. I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, there's a lot of things to be positive about 2025, but on the other hand, this debt load that the last administration and really all the government for the last 50 or 100 years, the dollar's just losing a lot of value. So anyway, I'll get off that. Let's take a look here though, and just see, as much as sometimes YieldMax can get their act together. I mean, Misty's been great when it's running. Um, NVDY has been, but look at this. I'm showing a paltry 8.53. Everybody gets excited. Oh, 40% on YMAX. You're looking at 1 month's yield, and even that, this is, this week yield. Oh, yeah, this one needs to be times 52. Let me check that. I-14. Yeah. These are the only ones that have 52 because they're weekly. Sorry about that, guys. I drug down because I was using a new location. All right, everything else is 12 months. And technically they could be 13, but I'll just go with what I'm showing here. All right, so that's better. But at the end of the day, this is showing you when it drops, right? This one hasn't dropped a lot. YMAG has gone from 1925, okay, from 21, 23. So it's got about a 10%, okay? But it's only showing that all of its payments are only about 1751. But again, this is 6 months, so you need to double this. But if you double this, you need to double this one, right? So that's part of the problem. That's not out 30 or 40%. That's saying this is a 16% net total return, and this is like 12. So it's just a matter of looking at these realistic. Palantir with only, what do we say? There's only 4 payments in there. Yeah. You've got 4 monthly payments in there, and you're looking at a 37, almost, not quite 38 because not at the halfway, 37% gain if you bought it at inception 4 months ago, and a 17.77% on the 4 payments, which is a 55% return. And look at NVIDIA now, because NVIDIA's been going down, right? Look at this, 23.35. That's well below the 6-month price at 29.24. So, these are not perfect. And what happens is when these income funds are really kicking butt, and they do at times when the market's roaring, it's great. But you guys that, every time I watch somebody interview some of the fund managers, well, is your fund going to be around? Is it going to be here 10 years? We need it to be here 10 years because we're going to get this 40 to 100% yield. Guys, that is not realistic. You can have individual sectors get hot and you can get high yields. But if you think you can go out there and get a 70% yield year in and year out for 10 years, you're crazy. When these markets turn bad, same thing. These fund managers will tell you they can't change what the underlying does. If the underlying turns bearish, so that's my problem with just parking money in income and thinking you're going to get rich that way. It just is not very practical. These markets, I mean, I'm not here to tell you a prediction that I think could get really ugly in 2025. Clearly, we're in a recession already, but it's just hard to know short term. So I'll hold off on that. I might do a video just on what I see the real estate market doing um, to the stock market potential and what kind of impact that could have. But enough said. Hope you enjoy this. Now you know what it paid. There'll always be some winners and there'll always be losers here. Frankly, YMAX, I like it because it averages across the YieldMax, but I wish they dropped some of the dead weight. They're not going to want to do that. They don't want to kill these funds. That's their problem. That's greed. That's the corporate world greed, not giving you what you want. They ought to let you have a basket. But then again, there's nothing preventing you from just buying 10 or 15 of the funds that you like better, right? Make your own YMAX. It's not going to pay weekly, guys. I get it, right? Well, it will in the sense that you're going to own single stock funds across the groups. So in that way, you might find you will get paid weekly on that. All right, that's what I got for you. Have a great new year going forward. We got 2 trading days and you're into the weekend. Anybody that had people in New Orleans or went to the games, what a tragedy. I was so sorry to hear that. So my thoughts and prayers are out to the people that are, there's a few people still really injured. We just do not need that craziness. But sadly, I'm sure there's a lot more on the plate. All these people that came into the country. This guy was an American citizen, just looks like he went off the deep end with financial and divorce and other kinds of things. So anyway, try and stay positive, people. That's it. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for fun and entertainment. Have a great one. Bye for now.